Hello, welcome back to our weekly webinar session. My name is Brittany. I'm part of the Kinderlime Customer Success team. Here today, we are going to be looking over lesson planning. So how to create, how to assign those lesson plans, and how to also share them with your parents so that way they get kept in the loop if you'd like them to be. Um, Throughout this, so we'll start on the app or the website. We'll move over to the app. However, if you have any questions throughout the session, what you should see on your screen is a little orange icon. Click that open and then you'll see the second screen where I'll have the question field. Send those over to me. If I'm able to answer it live while I'm explaining something, I'll definitely incorporate it, but we'll have time at the end of this for any questions that you may have. So again, look for the orange arrow, pop it out and send questions my way. So that way we can do a deeper dive into things that's relevant to anyone who's joining us today. And also it may help someone who's not joining us today if they watch this later on. So let's go ahead and get started. So after you log into your Kinderlime account, you'll be able to find the lesson plans under Learning Lesson Plans. This is going to show you the week. You're able to filter by classroom at the top of the page under the date, so you can either change by date if you want to view a different week, or if you want to view a different lesson plan for another room, you can. Or if you want to set it all up for everyone at once, you can click all rooms and that will show every lesson plan that is in the system for your entire program. In this case, when you're ready to create the lesson, I would say there's two ways to do this. So the first one is going up here to the All Lessons tab, and this will show you every lesson that's been previously created in the system. Again, you can use the funnel at the top of the page to filter for room, for tags, or even lesson categories. So if you just want to look at what's been created for the arts, you can, or anything like that. In these categories, I'll show you in a moment how you can customize those to your specific program. But let's go ahead and remove this filter. So to create the lesson, you go here and do create lesson, and that will show you everything that we see on screen. So starting off the lesson title, what will the kids be learning today? From there, you go ahead and select the category. And this is where if you don't see a category listed, but you would like to, just click Manage Categories. And this is how you can add. So anything that you guys may talk about, anything that's going to help you filter these lessons more, this is another way to add additional filters. So in this case, my lesson that I'm adding is watercolor butterfly. So that is under arts. With the description, it's up to you how detailed you want to make that. So if you just want to explain what the kids are going to be learning or what the purpose of the activity is, you're able to type that out there. In my case, I'm just going to put the instructions for how they create the butterflies. And these boxes, I know they're small. You can easily expand them by clicking right underneath the scroll bar and click on it and then just drag it down so you can see a more full view of what you're writing. Below is the outcome. So what's the desired outcome of them doing this activity? What are they learning? What's the objective, the outcome? Just repeated myself, but I hope that made sense. So I'm just going to put a basic outcome in my example. If we move down a little bit, this is where you can add milestones. I'm not going to go too deep into milestones today unless there's questions about it. If so, send them over and we can review those together. But with the milestones, it's something that you can build into the system of what the kids are supposed to be, working towards, or different milestones they should be hitting. So if there is a milestone that you have in there that goes with the activity or lesson that you're creating, you can open that up and find the one that works for it. I did not look at this all the way. I'm just going to pick a random one at this point. Perfect. So I have the language there, and then with the labels, again, this is just another way to organize. So by Kinderlime's default, we put in the different age ranges. However, same just like the categories, you're able to edit these labels. So if I wanted to put manage labels, add new, you can decide what color the label needs to be, what the topic. So if you, instead of maybe age range, you want to do room names for the label, or again, activities, whatever is going to help you organize, you can add those labels in there. I'm going to keep mine with the age of the kids for right now, and then just hit submit. Moving down a little bit, this is where you select which rooms this lesson plan needs to apply to. Is it all rooms? You can select that, or maybe it's just one or two. Once I have the room selected, I'm then also going to enter in the duration of the lesson plan. So that way when it shows on the calendar, it's showing how long it should be. And then below, these are just for the teachers. So if there's attachments, maybe a PDF, a document, anything that would help them complete the lesson, you can attach that file. And maybe if there's a URL that the teachers need to open up to get more information from the lesson plans, maybe it's a musical lesson or something with the art, again, you're able to add the URL there that the teachers can click and open up. Once everything looks good to go, you have your lesson there, just hit save. And that's going to add it to the lesson plan templates that you have, in my case, right at the bottom. So the second way to create lessons, though, is you don't have to just go to lesson tab. You can also click add lesson. If you don't see the one that you want from here, it's just create new, and that will open up the same page that we just were. So again, it's two methods to get to the same outcome. But in this case, I'm just going to add my lesson for the day, which is my watercolor butterflies. Once I hit choose, you'll see it populate to the list, and then I can always add other lessons for that day. So again, find the one that's relevant from your list, hit choose, and then you'll see it listed for that day. So in this case, this is for my rainbow room. I can see the two lessons I've planned for this previous Wednesday. Perfect. Once that is in there, if you want to share it with your parents, or if your teachers need to view it on the go, that's where we'll go to the app. So, or before we go to the app, let me take a step back. So there's a few ways to share it with your parents. So the first one is if you are on the website, you can do from here, these three dots at the top right of the page. If you guys, maybe you have some weekend plans that you want to include, you can click and it'll show Saturday, Sunday on the list, or you can hide that if you just want to see Monday through Friday. You're able to print the lesson plan. So this will open it up in a new tab as a PDF, and this will allow you to print off that lesson plan. So if you need to share it, maybe a different way, you just want to see all the objectives listed out, you can do that. And the last thing that this button does for us is it gives you the ability to copy. So if you want to look at maybe copying that weekly lesson plan to another week. So maybe I want to move it to January 2020. We're going to do this whole week again at the beginning of January. I'm going to select January 13th through the 19th, and I'm going to copy it to the rainbow room again. Once I hit submit, it will open up that week. So in this case, it was in the future, and everything I have was copied over without me having to do it a second time. Ooh. So moving over to the app side of things. There we go. To share the lesson plans within the app directly to the parents, you go down here to activity. And at the bottom of the page, you'll see a button that says view today's lessons. You can go ahead and click that open. And I realize I did my lesson for every day but Friday. But let's move back to Wednesday. So as you see on Wednesday, it has the watercolor butterflies lesson there, as well as my sample Pirates and Explorers lesson. So when I click Share with Parents, it will copy, it'll show all the students in the rainbow room because that's the room I have selected. So just like any other activity you have, it's just a matter of clicking we're all kids there and you want to share it with all kids, all the parents who may be in that particular room, or maybe you just want to share it with those who are signed in, or just a select few parents. So it's same thing like any activity, it's either share all, select sign in, or manually pick who you want to share it with. So in this case, I'm going to share it with these 5, hit next. And again, it will copy everything that was in the lesson plan. So if there's anything that maybe your teachers don't quite want to share, they're able to go in there and make edits. So maybe they just want to share the objection part of it, or and just add a different description. They can. So they have full customize. They can customize exactly what they're sharing with the parents, um, and add as much or as little information from the lesson plan. From here, they can also add in a photo. So maybe the kids are doing something cute while they're making their watercolor butterflies. They just need to click the photo icon and add it just like they would with any other activity. They can also go up here and maybe adjust the time. So maybe it's something they did earlier, but when you're dealing with watercolor paints and a lot of kids, maybe they didn't have time to share it live in that moment. So they can actually come here, click the clock, and edit it to when exactly they did that activity. So in this case, I'm going to say 9 a.m., hit OK, and then share. And that will populate it to the child's profile. Parents will get a notification that a new lesson was added and be able to see all the great things the kids were doing. Oh, and saw my audio was lost. Are you able to hear me now? Awesome. Okay. Let's see. So that's pretty much it with the sharing it. Another portion that you can share within when it comes to the lessons is under here for observations. So this kind of plays on the milestones, and I can review that because it seems like we have some time. But with the observations, I'm just going to select Bella in this case and hit next. So there's something I observed Bella doing. I can, again, like anything else, type a description, add a photo, and then select which milestone that goes with that observation. I noticed Bella, achieving her milestone and hitting that criteria. So if I just wanted to put daily hygiene skills or daily living skills and hygiene, I'm able to select that from the list, hit submit, and those are going to be the milestones that this observation is added to. Again, I'm just going to use test for my description, but I'm sure your teachers will observe a lot more and have a much better description than I do. But once that's there, just know observations will always be staff only. They're not visible to the parents because it's something that it's just you guys are observing. And I'll show you where that comes into play on the website in a moment. But you would just click add observation, and that automatically goes to Bella's profile as you see here. So we see the lesson learning that she did and the observation that was added. On the website, with the observations that you'll see, if those are logged, we can go to Bella's profile and click if there's no observations and something that's been adjusted. You can click that and it will actually pull up any observations that were added to your profile, so you can actually add it to their assessments. So as she goes through any milestones, any lessons, that information is going to show here. So that's pretty much it with adding the observations um, and the milestones. So you guys are able to customize the milestones. Same thing, they're under lesson plans and up here, all milestones. I know our long-term goal is to have these um, edited to be state specific, but for now, anything that you see in there that you need, you're able to customize these by using the pencil icon to edit or the trash can icon to delete anything that's not relevant to your program. Um, and again, any milestones that you have there are going to show up under assessments, so you guys can track exactly where the kiddos are in their progress. Let's see, let's move over to the Q&A. We have a few questions. One of them, is there a way to copy the lesson plan into the newsletter? Not, say yes and no. Not perfectly, where what you're seeing here will copy into the newsletter. However, one way you could is click the print lesson plan and save the PDF that opens. Save the PDF that opens as a document, and then in the newsletter section, when you go to create a newsletter, you can upload those lesson plans as an attachment at the bottom is one way. However, I think that is a great suggestion to have those linked a little bit easier. And so I'll definitely pass that along to the team here. The objectives, Macy, can you clarify what your question is regarding the objectives? Okay, I'll come back to that in a moment. Is there a way to print off the children's milestones like a portfolio? There is. So if you guys ever want to share what the kids are doing or where the progress is, you would go to Learning Assessments where we were earlier and just click onto the child's profile. I'm going to use Cheryl in this example. At the top of the page, you'll see a button, View Portfolio. And this will show everything. So if there is observations, those will be marked there and what their progress is with each milestone. And you can either save this or print it depending on your browser. It may look a little bit different than mine. And that's for the assessments, objectives. That's how you're going to share those with the parents. So you would have to view the portfolio and send it because that's going to be an internal staff only feature. It's not one that you can share directly from the site. You would have to either download or print the portfolio to share. And then Jay had a great suggestion about adding a button for within the lesson plans. And it's something I'll pass along is a button to add in the supplies needed. I noticed that myself when I was building my lesson plan earlier. I'd say with that, the only way right now is just add it either as a URL if you have it online or as an attachment. And the supplies needed, but again, that's great feedback that I'll pass along. But again, the current workaround for that is if it's something that they can access through a URL, add that. Or if there's like a PDF or a document with the supplies needed, I would add it as a file there. And if you guys need to ever delete a lesson plan, remove it from the list, there is the deletion button there. And thank you, Macy, for clarifying your question. The goals and objectives I was wondering is if there's a way to copy those and not the whole lesson plan. At the moment, not quite, but that is, again, great feedback that I'll definitely pass to the team. Anything you guys do send here, if we're not able to do it, I always write those down. And if you guys ever have any feedback that you want to share about, ways, things that you'd like to see improve on the app, this chat box here, it goes directly to our team, and that's another way that we log this information so we can share it with the appropriate teams here for improvements, because that's how we improve. Um, let's see. So from Mo, we have a question. Are there levels of security within the software that a teacher can access lesson plans but not the billing feature? Yes. So one thing is under my school staff, we recently added the ability to edit the staff roles and permissions. So if you click into any of your staff's names, at the top of the page, you'll now see a roles and permissions field. With that one, or maybe we don't have the lesson plans quite there yet. I think if you have them listed, staff should see their lesson plans, and they shouldn't see billing. So if they log to the site, they should see lessons and not billings, unless you have billing set as read or full access if you do want them to see it. But lesson plans will always show to the teachers. I know long term, our goal is to make these permissions more granular on what is going to be included versus what is not. So that way you can do it on a feature level. But the first rollout we have of this, you can adjust what your staff can view or not view. Oh, and then thank you for clarifying, Jay. A button for supplies for parents, diapers, wipes, extra clothing to send with the child's report. Um, I would say for that one, the best bet for if you need to send a note to the parents about supplies that are needed, which again, great suggestion, but I would say right now the notes one would probably be the best bet. You can either send them a message and let them know what's needed, or if you want to add it to like the child's feed, I would say the notes one would be great. You can select again which child you want to add that to, and in the note, I'll say Bella needs some diapers and a change of close. As long as staff only isn't selected, this will send to Bella's parents on the app, so they'll get a push notification if they have downloaded the parent app, as well as an email, and that will also show on the daily report. So again, activities, notes, and then just include in that note what supplies the parents need to provide, and that way they can see it and it's tracked directly on the child's feed. Can photos be added to the portfolio? Um, love to see that you can take a photo when they meet a milestone. I'm gonna have to check on that one. My understanding was with the assessments, the observation should appear. Um, so as I click into it, I should be able to see it, and the photos should pop up. But let me check in on that and see if we can get the photos to appear, and I'll follow up with you. Ashley, if you could send a chat to us and just say, hey, Brittany, I asked about the photos with the observations, and that way I have a direct line of communication with you. Let's see. Yeah, so with the objectives, I don't think, kind of going back to Macy's question earlier about being able to show just the objectives and not, or the outcomes and not the additional details. Um, I don't believe we have a way to just export those per se, and make it a little bit easier just to share the outcome. The only way would be right now with the app, and just deleting the full description of what the kids are getting up to and just sharing the outcome. That's what I showed earlier with the view today's lessons, share with parents, and then just erasing the rest. But the other sharing doesn't quite go. But again, that's great feedback that I'll provide to the team because I can see how that could make life easier. And the last question we have there is, it would be nice if we could print the newsletter like we can the lesson plans. And I'm really glad to hear, Macy, that you guys are liking the app at your center. I know that's feedback that we heard in the previous session where we did review how to create newsletters and how to share those. So that's definitely been passed along to the team here. And again, we love hearing the feedback. So if you guys have anything, feel free to communicate with us. Were there any additional questions about creating the newsletters or not the newsletters, creating the lesson plans and sharing those with your families or your parents or even with the assessments and milestones? Okay. Um, so last thing I'll end with then, if you guys do think of anything, if you ever have any questions, feedback, concern, give us a chat. We're here to help with anything. If you need another walkthrough, if you want to review anything with anyone from the team, you have this chat box within your account on the app and website. And you can start a new conversation and that will go to anyone who is logged in. I see that's me. Just send us a chat. You can, if you want to send a funny GIF, get our attention, smiley faces, and most importantly, if you ever have screenshots or something that you want to share with us, this paper clip is how you attach files into the chat and how we can help. The other thing that's here as a great resource is at the top of your page, you'll see the question mark icon. That is full of tutorials for every feature. So if you don't find something there, again, the chat box stays on every page in Kinderlime. Take a peek at the help page and send us a chat. We can kind of review everything together. And the last thing I'll end with is these sessions are recorded. So if you missed a previous session, maybe when we went over billing, payroll, or newsletters, again, feel free to send us a chat. We upload them to our YouTube channel, so you can review these at a time of your convenience or whenever works for you. But again, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. But thank you for your time.